Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Pete's CD LP World. Today I wanted to start a series of videos called Give It Another Spin, about albums by big name or established artists that maybe were overlooked or at the time people didn't think were that great. So today I want to go over The Who's Endless Wire. I was inspired to do this because of their latest album, which I did the review of. And it got me thinking of how I wasn't that impressed with this album when I first got it. I listened to it a couple times and was just like, eh. It was a concept album. I really wasn't really even sure what the concept was about. And I just listened to it the other day and realized how good it was. There's 20 songs on this album, and some of them are only a minute to 2 minutes long. And maybe the reason I didn't care for it too much at the time was it doesn't really flow very well. In fact, the first 9 songs are something called Endless Wire, and then the next 11 songs are called Wire and Glass, a mini opera, which still didn't realize what this album is about. But there's a lot of good songs on here. In fact, it's a much more Who-like album than their newest one called Who. And I think the reason why this wasn't too well received because they hadn't released an album in over 25 years. I think this came out in 2006. And everyone was just starving for a Who album. They probably should have released what they just did a couple months ago as this album and then put this out. I think it would have been a better timeline. Another thing about this album is this was in the middle of the loudness wars, and you turn the CD on and it is just loud as hell. I had my receiver about a quarter of the way up when I first put this on, and I just felt like the bass was booming, and the bass is really loud on this album. It's the first with Pino Palladino. But there are several really good tracks on here. Fragments. A Man in the Purple Dress is a really haunting, almost creepy song. My Post Theme. The next track, Black Widow's Eyes, is probably my favorite track on the album. I remember liking it at the time, but didn't realize how much I liked it until I listened to it again. It's Not Enough is sort of a classic Who song. And then it goes into Wire and Glass, which is made up of short 1 to 2 minute songs. We Got a Hit and Endless Wire are probably the two most Who-like songs in that segment of the album. And there's even extended versions of those 2 songs at the end. It also comes with a DVD with 5 songs on it, which is pretty cool. So if you do see this, give it another spin or check it out. Also, what's kind of annoying is they had put out 2 songs on a greatest hits package at this time called Good Looking Young Man and Old Red Wine, which probably would have fit on this album pretty well. Don't know why they didn't put it on here, but if you happen to see that greatest hits album, you probably have to pick that up to get your complete catalog. As far as production goes, I like this a lot better than their latest one, even though it's sort of in the middle of the loudness wars, but to me, the CD does not sound over-compressed. It's just loud. And this one is produced by Pete Townshend. So it definitely has elements of Who's Next crossed with maybe some of their early 80s material. And if you see this album, pick it up or give it a listen, because it was definitely one that you should give a spin to again. All right. Thanks a lot.